interest has completely dried up for DATs as of now. And DATs are now reportedly selling their crypto assets to de-risk and fund share buybacks. This is creating steady sell pressure. Maybe if you look at the chart, you can see this kind of steady selling, and this might be one of the reasons. Research from Delphi Digital backs this up, noting that institutional demand for DATs is down 90% from its August peak. Bitwise's Matt Hogan argues that DATs face structural challenges. The reasons they trade at a discount are clear, while potential reasons for a premium are uncertain. Looking ahead, Mr. Hogan expects larger DATs to fare better than smaller ones because they can issue debt more easily, lend more crypto, and tap more liquid options markets, implying that you're going to see a consolidation to this sector. I would also add that Bips and Bits last week or this week had a wonderful section on DATs, and I encourage everyone to listen to that section. I also talked about it in my newsletter. The TLDR is all of the people on the show were bearish on DATs short term. However, once a lot of these DATs kind of blow up and you see kind of this consolidation, they might start looking more interesting. But right now, DATs seem to be done, at least for the short term.
Yeah. So the reasons they trade at a discount to their MNAV, the assets that they're holding, is mainly just because of all the administrative fees, right? So they have to like pay salaries, and there are, in many cases there are like a pretty egregious profit sharing contracts in place, where basically it's a tails I win, heads you lose situation for whoever like set up these DATs. And so that's why the stock prices of them are below what they're actually holding, right? And then, yeah, on the upside, it's unclear why they would trade at a premium to their MNAV. So, I mean, this is what we've been saying all along. It was always kind of a mystery why they were trading higher than the assets that they were holding, to me at least. So surprise, surprise, they are now below that, and some of them are apparently spitting out their coins, which is putting downward pressure on the markets. I don't think MicroStrategy is or will be spitting out their coins. And then also, I don't know if you have anything to comment on there, but they're not all dead, right? So the next and last story here is...
I have one comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just another reason why the MNAV situation, or the value of a DAT actually just in general, that the bits and bits guys were saying that I didn't know, is the way that a lot of these DATs are structured. It's actually really, really hard for activist investors to come in and buy the company and liquidate the assets, which I didn't know. So even though this is what I thought. I was like, okay, so let's say you have like a mid-tier DAT and it's way below MNAV. People like other bigger DATs or even TradFi companies that come in and eat this stuff up and sell it for parts, they must be licking their lips, right? Well, no, apparently the MNAV has to get down low enough, even lower than where it is, where they can come in and actually dismantle it, because a lot of how these things are structured, it's really, really hard to do that, which actually means that you can't really say that the assets they hold are worth what they actually are, because you can't really get to them and sell it for pieces, right? So that's another negative that I didn't know, but it's a pretty big negative, because that's what I think should happen is you should have like bigger DATs who are better run and have more liquidity come in and scoop up these smaller DATs and just throw away the company and take the digital assets. But they can't really do that. At least they can't do it cheaply. So you have to account for that.
So maybe just to to note here, that not all DATs are dead. MetaPlanet, the Tokyo-listed company known for its Bitcoin-focused treasury strategy, still doing pretty well, I think. Part of the reason is that the tax regulations on crypto trading in Japan are so severe. Basically, it's just taxed as regular income, so that means it could be taxed as high as 50% depending on your income. So therefore, people are using MetaPlanet, which is a stock, which has more favorable tax treatment. They're using that as a proxy for Bitcoin holding. The company is still doing well. They've got a $500 million line of credit, and the most recent story is that they've used another 130 million of that, in addition to 100 million that they had borrowed earlier in the month, to purchase more Bitcoin. So they're still expanding their Bitcoin holdings. Currently, just under 31,000 Bitcoin is what they hold, valued at roughly $3.5 billion.
Have you looked at the chart of MetaPlanet stock, Graham, lately? It looks like a shitcoin chart.
Yeah, it's bouncing like, a little bit here. It might have found a bottom.
The high was in what? In June, and it's been from the high
down
of
about
June,
85%.
Yeah, man. I can imagine a lot of investors, and here's the thing: is a lot of these are going to be like, you'd have to imagine a lot of these are like TradFi investors, right? They're not going to be very happy with this. I think this is like your classic, like within crypto, you see this happen where they buy this stuff on any kind of shitcoin chart, and then that's it. They're done with crypto.
No, I don't know. I think everyone who bought this, thinking that it was a tax advantageous alternative to buying Bitcoin, I think they knew that like they're sitting on unsustainable gains. You'd have to be pretty financially illiterate to not recognize that it went from like it like 100x'd. The price of the stock went up dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder. I mean, Jordy Alexander talked about this on, not on Steady Labs, but on other podcasts. How like a lot of smart people, I mean, I guess they could just be lying, but they were parading DATs as like a great thing, but the game, a lot of people, even smart people, didn't understand what the game was, right? And the game favored insiders and people who got in early. Like the classic thing. Well, we talked about this a lot during the whole DAT phase earlier this year, the craze earlier this year, about how like what's the game theory behind playing the DATs and all that kind of stuff. So I think, to me, the DATs now in retrospect, you say, yeah, it was obviously stupid, but even during that time, we were talking about like, well, so how, is this sustainable? And obviously it's not sustainable. We don't think it's sustainable, but how do you play this? And when do you get in and things of that nature? So anyway, I wonder how many people got burned and are really upset. I'll tell you this, on X, if you look at like the people who are the cheerleaders or the frontmen for these DATs, you look at their comments, they'll say anything. Right? They're like, Bitcoin's going to rebound, and whatever it is, it can be. And the comments are just filled with haters. Why is your DAT down 90%? Do something, like that. Just like tons and tons of hate every time I see these comments.
Yeah.